Otumba, what's the biggest challenge of the police? Is it equipment or personnel? Because there are those who are worried that the number of policemen that they are is not equal to, or is not enough to police 170 million Nigerians. And there are some others say it's a question of equipment, yet some others say it's a question of welfare. So what is the challenge of the police?
It is a combination of all. However, I would prefer, and I'm sure my Inspector General of Police, MD Baka, will prefer to have a compact police force that is well-trained, well-motivated, well-funded, and well-equipped, and to have a large army without appropriate funding, without the requisite equipments to carry a job, without adequate welfare in terms of good services, in terms of good accommodation, and the rest of them. So, though is a combination of all, but even when the United Nations tell you that the ratio should be 1 policeman to 400 persons or 400 persons, the United Nations is talking about 1 well-trained police officer, 1 well-equipped police officer, 1 highly motivated police officer, 400 persons. So I was having a discussion with journalists 2 days ago, and I said, if you have a ragtag force carrying obsolete equipment and you deploy 20 of them to handle a situation, 2 well-trained, well-equipped, well-motivated police officers can as well do that job. So it's not just about number. Of course, number, the strength of a force is important. Because even in warfare, if you hear the country wants to engage has so number of force, they have a particular strength of force, you might just begin to think twice before you engage the force.
You know, one wonders, with all of this, and we've got the elections coming, can the police live up to expectations for the elections?
I think we will. For us in the force, there is this very strong air of optimism, particularly because we've done it. We policed Edo elections with all the heat generated, with all the tensions in Edo State. We policed Ondo elections, we policed Anambra elections, and we came up in flying colors. I think what we've done over time is, at the beginning, 1999, policing the electoral process was difficult for us. You have a generation of police officers, including my humble self, who have been in the force all this while, but we've never had the privilege of witnessing or policing any election. So that was our first election. For me, that was the first time. I was a much more younger officer then, and I was on the field. But that was my first time of policing an election. And I also had some seniors, my commanders, who also probably never policed any election because of the long military, the long time the military had. So it was more like trial and error for us then. But what has happened is, between 1999 and now, we've policed 3 general elections, and we've learned our lessons. What we've done over the time is to look at areas we've done, try to improve on it, look at the areas where we need to actually change things entirely, and then work on it. And that's what we've been doing. At the end of each election, we compare notes, we talk to the election observer, we talk to INEC, and then we come up with policies that help us actually for the next election.
For those elections in Anambra, Ogun, could it be because they were just state at a time.
It was not just because they were one state at a time. That might have helped. But you saw in those elections is the fact that we were able to protect the integrity of the electoral process. We were able to protect the integrity of the participants. We were able to protect the integrity of the outcomes. Because if it is a mini election, even if it is a very small election, the quality of the police officers that police the election is key.
Is the quality improving?
Definitely, and I'm sure the fact speaks for itself. And come 2015 general election, I think we will do better because we have started preparing even earlier than usual.
Mr. Mba, those elections were one-state elections, and you somewhat emptied the police force, somewhat, I didn't say completely, emptied the police force in some other locations just to protect, as you said, the integrity of that election in that particular state. 2015, the elections are going to be across the country. Going to empty somewhat.
Let me just tell you something. When you are policing staggered elections, it comes with its own challenges. And that's why you notice that whenever they have those isolated elections, we try to close the interstate borders. The reason is because there are so many spare hands in the neighboring states that can actually be deployed. You remember what happened in Anambra? Imo State Police Command intercepted a group of persons who were traveling all the way from a particular state in the southwest to Anambra. In a general election, those players will be taken care of by the fact that elections are taking place simultaneously everywhere. So, and you must have or by the migration, and I'm using that word loosely, of touts or thugs or potential riggers from one state to another, because everybody will be busy in his own constituency. Okay. And remember, during elections, we don't work alone. We will work with other legitimate law enforcement agencies. We work with the customs, we work with the civil defense, we work with the immigration, we work with the prison service, and we expect the military to actually play some roles, even though we expect them to play from a distance. Okay. We will remain the internal security agency coordinating the security, but we will get support, massive one, from our brothers from the military and from enforcement agencies.
Okay, well, Frank, as Force Public Relations Officer, thank you for coming on Sunrise Daily today.
It's always my pleasure.
All right.